Hi, everyone. My name is Alex Ryder. I'm the Senior Manager of Volunteers here with Special Olympics Washington. Today, we just wanted to go through our volleyball volunteer training for you, some high level overview of what exactly the sport looks like at Special Olympics Washington, and just some overall details about what to expect. So, jumping into our volunteer fundamentals, just kind of the basics. So, the sports season runs from August and will culminate at our state fall games in November. So, over in the Tri Cities will be the culminating event. Volunteer roles. So, a lot of different roles throughout volleyball. So, we'll have officials, scorekeepers, some line judges, libero tracker. We'll talk a little bit about what that means, individual skills, some awards volunteers, and much more, especially at our state games. We'll have things like hospitality assistants, just kind of everything to help keep the flow of the competition running. Our events offered, so we're going to have skills competitions. And again, we'll walk through exactly what those individual skills look like and what all you volunteers will be doing. Team competition, modified team competition, which I'll talk about, as well as our unified team competition, which is athletes with and without intellectual disabilities on the same team. So the equipment, the court size is 59 by 29.6 in width. The height of the net for team competition is male and co-ed teams is 2.43 meters and female teams is 2.22 meters. Unified men and co-ed teams 2.43 and unified women's 2.24. The service line must be at least 14 feet, 9 inches from the net, and we use a regulation size volleyball. So the team size rosters are must have at least 7 players and no more than 12. Teams do have to start with 6 players to start a set. They can finish with less than 6, but cannot start the next match with less than 6. Teams may have 3 athletes as alternates. All team members are required to play a match. Each coach must see to it that each athlete has frequent opportunities to participate. Those of you scorekeepers, that's something that you're going to track, just making sure everyone's getting in the game. In our unified competition, rosters will contain a proportionate number of athletes and partners. During competition itself, the lineup will never exceed 3 athletes and 3 partners at a time. Failure to adhere to any of these required ratios results in a forfeit. So some general rules that we'll dive into. So a player may not hit the ball twice in succession except when blocking. Any ball hitting the ceiling will be considered playable by the team causing such contact unless the ball crosses the plane of the net. A served ball that touches the net will remain in play, and the receiving team has 3 plays to return the ball to the opponents. Substitutes, a team will be allowed a maximum of 12 substitutions per set. Each player may enter the set 3 times. Starting the game constitutes as 1 entry. And players re-entering the set must assume their original position in the serving order in relation to their other teammates. Each team gets 2 timeouts per set. If a team wins the first 3 sets of the match, the fourth game can only be played if it does not delay the start of the next scheduled match. Coaches and officials, you guys will have to use your best judgment or play until the time is up. The first server of each set is the right back player. Thereafter, the right front player rotates to the back position. The team receiving the first serve shall rotate on the first side out. The winner of the coin toss may choose to serve, receive, or select a specific side of the court. If a deciding third or fifth set is necessary, a coin toss shall again be conducted with the same options. The ball can be hit with any part of the body, but touching any of the part of the net while playing the ball is a fault. And crossing completely over the center line with any part of the body except for feet will not constitute a violation unless there is interference. Any ball landing on the line is considered in. So scoring, all matches, including modified, will utilize rally scoring. You need not to be serving to score a point. A match is won by the team that wins the best of 3 of 5 sets. A playoff set is considered a match and only 1 game will be played. A 1 game match is won by the team that scores 25 or more points with a 2-point advantage. In a case of a 1-1 tie or 2-2 set tie, the deciding set, which is either the third or fifth, is played as a tiebreaker with rally point scoring procedures to 15 points and no cap point. Teams change sides when one team has scored 8 points. If a team fails to serve properly, return the ball, or commits any other fault, the opponent wins the rally and scores the point. When the serving team wins the rally, it scores a point and continues to serve. If the receiving team wins the rally, it scores a point and gains the right to serve. A match is equal to one full game, therefore, 3 match scores are due to the state office. Within a match, there are set rules. Each set is played to 25, except for the deciding third or fifth set, which is played to 15. Traditional division matches will play best 3 out of 5 sets, with the winning team being the team who wins 3 sets. Modified division matches will play best 2 out of 3 sets, with the winner being the one who wins 2 sets. The libero player. Libero players are players that play defensive positions only. Any team has the option to designate 2 libero players on its roster for each match. There are special rules if the libero player is injured and cannot continue. The libero jersey numbers must be placed on the lineup sheet for the first set of the match, in addition to the numbers for the starting players. This libero must wear a color uniform that is different than the rest of the team in order to easily be recognized. The libero is allowed to replace any player in the back row position, except in unified sports when an athlete may only replace an athlete and a partner can only replace a partner. They are restricted to perform as any back row player and is not allowed to they are restricted to perform simply as a back row player and not allowed to complete an attack hit from anywhere. If at the moment on the court the ball is entirely higher than the top of the net. A player may not complete an attack hit from higher than the top of the net if the ball is coming from an overhead finger pass by a libero in his or her front zone. The ball may be freely attacked if libero makes the same action from behind the front zone. Libero replacement. So when the libero replaces a player in the back zone, it is not counted as a substitution. So this is what you libero trackers will be actually taking a note of. Libero replacements are unlimited. Only the players whom they replace may replace the libero. Replacements may take place at the start of the set after the second referee has checked the lineup or while the ball is out of play before the first referee blows the whistle for service. Our modified team competitions, so the height of the net will be a little bit smaller, and the modified volleyball will also be a little bit smaller. 1 assist on a serve is allowed. The serve line will be moved up slightly, a time limit of 30 minutes for each set. 3-second serving rule will be used. Antennas will still be placed on the sideline of the smaller court. 2 of the 3 sets to 21 points will determine a match. A team must win each set by 2 points. Our unified team competition, like I mentioned, it must have a proportionate number of athletes and partners and never exceed 3 athletes and 3 partners. The serving order should be a rotation of athletes and partners. So that's something that you scorekeepers are going to have to keep track of, just making sure they're going in the right order. And once a server has scored 3 consecutive points, his or her team shall rotate to the next server. Our individual skills competition, so a lot of volunteers will be helping out with this. Our individual skills contest is designed for lower ability or new athletes who have not yet developed skills to still participate. Athletes may not be assisted by coaches. Modifications will be made for athletes who have visual or hearing impairments. The athlete's final score is determined by adding together the scores of each of the following events. So talking about events, our event 1 is overhead passing. So we're going to be on a regulation size court with 4 volleyballs. Player is given 10 attempts from the center front position that is 2 meters from the net and 4.5 meters from the sideline. The player receives 10 two-handed, underhanded toss balls from the tosser, which is going to be a volunteer position, positioned in their backcourt. The player sets the toss ball toward a target. Another volunteer who has their hands above the head and who's standing 2 meters from the net and 2 meters from the sideline in the left front position. Tosses that are not high enough for the athlete to set are repeated. The goal is for the peak of the arch of each set ball to be above net height. To score here, the peak of the arc of each set ball toward the target is measured. The athlete will receive 1 point for volleying, setting the ball 1 meter above their head, and 3 points for volleying, setting the ball above net height. The following will result in 0 points. So illegal contact, balls which go lower than the head height, and balls which go over the net or outside the court. The athlete's the athlete's final score is determined by adding together the points awarded for each of the 10 attempts. Event number 2 is serving. So using a regulation size court and 5 volleyballs, an athlete will stand 1.5 meters inside the end line and serves 10 volleyballs one at a time into the opponent's court. The court will be divided into 3 equal areas of 3 meters in width. Each of these areas is going to be assigned a different point value. The athlete's score is going to be the cumulative point total of the 10 serves. A ball which lands on the line is assigned to the area with the higher point total. So a lot of volunteers will be out tracking where those balls land. As you can see here, here's a little bit of a demonstration of this. So the athlete will serve from here. We'll have a couple of handlers, shaggers here, hit it over the net into these different areas. So 1 point for the closest, 3 points in the middle, 5 points at the end. We'll have shaggers rotated throughout, making sure we get the balls tracked. And finally, passing with the forearm. So again, on our regulation court and 5 volleyballs, the athlete will stand in the right back position. Ball is going to be thrown using a 2-hand overhead toss by a coach official who is standing on the same side of the net in the center front position. The athlete will receive the toss and pass the ball toward a target. This is going to be a volunteer who has their hands above their head, standing on the same side 2 meters away from the net. Target areas of varying points are marked on the front court. The event is repeated with the athlete at the left back position. In order to score, the athlete must pass the ball so that the peak of the arc is at least net height in order to receive maximum points. A ball which lands on the line is assigned to the area with a higher point value. A ball which is passed below net height will receive only 1 point regardless of where it lands. The athlete's final score is determined by adding the points scored from their 5 attempts at both right back and left back positions. As a volunteer, I agree. We just want to go through our volunteer code of conduct. So to provide for the general welfare, health, and safety of all Special Olympics athletes and volunteers, dress and act in an appropriate manner at all times, follow the established rules and guidelines, report any emergencies to the proper authorities, abstain from the consumption or use of all alcohol, tobacco, and illegal substances, and of course, not engage in any inappropriate contact or relationship with athletes, volunteers, or other participants. We just want to thank you guys for joining us. We're still looking for volunteers at our state games, and we will be having volleyball regional events this fall season. So be sure to check that out today by heading to our website at specialolympics.org/volunteer. For confirmation of volunteer hours, you can email me at awriter@sowa.org. We'll also have forms on site, and feel free to use that email with any questions, comments, concerns you have as we approach the event. Just so you are aware, we are going to actually train you more on site, so you'll be split up into your specific roles, whether it's a scorekeeper, libero, tracker, and actually trained on what exactly that's going to be doing throughout the day. We just wanted to give you a high-level detail today of just a better look at Special Olympics volleyball. Again, we just want to thank you so much for volunteering with us. Can't wait to have you join us, and thanks again.